how do we create healthy eating habits without a rigid plan and give ourselves the time to see the results?
It's a good question. Yeah. All that hydration talk makes me want to just dive into my 2 liter here. Necessary, you guys. It's a good question, Heath. And again, it's so individual. It's like, where is that person at? So, and it's where their goals are as well. So I'm the first, when I seek, if someone reaches out to me to become a client, we'll do sort of a initial call, and my ultimate goal is to make sure that it's the right fit. And so different people have different goals. I think ultimately, when you peel back the layers, we all kind of have similar goals. We want that long-term sustainability, but that's the issue. I mean, if you take, Bob, you as an example, you're an elite athlete. Heath, you said it. If you've been an elite athlete, you have a certain level of innate, natural discipline and focus and willpower. So those can be great assets when embarking on that. Often they can be they can create a bit of ambivalence and resistance to my personal approach, because one of my sort of main objectives, like my mission, so to speak, is sustainability. So if you're looking, I'm say this sort of right up front, it's like, if you're looking to lose X amount of weight by this date, I'm not your guy. I've got a good network of coaches who would be more on that data-driven, here are your instructions, follow this, and you will get there. And that's totally fine. My sort of core mission is, I want to work with people longer, because it takes longer, because I want it to be sustainable. I want you to leave your time with me able and with the tools to essentially thrive in any environment. So that's a long-winded version of answering your question, Heath, but it really depends on the individual, and it's all about scaling back and starting small. One of my most crucial things that I fall back on constantly is, how is that working for you? So people who have, and again, it's totally, I empathize with it entirely, because the market has dictated this sort of outlook. We've been blasted with marketing of unrealistic expectations. Like you said, the guy on the magazine cover who, peaked for that photo shoot, and it's not a healthy body weight, and he's gonna put on fat afterwards, and these other programs from people who are just trying to make a quick buck and issue unsustainable approaches. We've been sort of promised a false hope, and so I totally get it. But at the end of it, it's like, you have to scale back, and it's, show me that you can do this, because most people think, oh, this is too slow, too simple. Show me, prove it. It's like one of those things where, you said it earlier, Bob, it's like your systems of planning ahead. I mean, that's one of my core habits, is like, oh, well, how are we going to get there? Well, I need to eat better. How are you going to eat better? Well, I should probably load my fridge up with more groceries, healthy groceries. Okay, how are you going to do that? Well, I'm going to go shopping this week. When are you going to go shopping? Let me think. Oh, when I have time after work. Okay, what day? Like, making that appointment, getting closer and closer, and having that an integral part, treat it like this is your business, you know, like your health is your business. So making that appointment with yourself, reflecting on your week. We do this all for our careers and for our work. So why not start doing it with your nutrition and lifestyle stuff, where you actually make an appointment that pop up on my phone. Now is the time that I meditate. Then I have this meeting, and then I move my body in between meetings. What is that? You know, these kinds of things where you're actually getting super dialed in. And there's a bunch of psychological stuff that's backed by research in there, where how much more likely you are to do something when you actually either write or type it out. You make that statement, at this time, I will do this for this long in this place. That kind of thing has huge power.
Huge.
Love the discussion.
Rant over.
Ryan, thanks. I love the discussion, gentlemen. Thanks so much, Ryan. Excellent comments. You know, I find this quite personally inspirational, this discussion. So I've got a couple of comments. One is, in terms of systems, I just kind of wrote down some numbers here, Ryan. Like, to make sure that you have activity, like you're walking every day, you're moving in between meetings, there's an actual number. If you actually figured out how many times you need to move a day, right? There's an actual number associated with that. Times it by the amount of days in a week, and you got another number. Times it by a month, you got another number. So if you did that with meals, for instance, at 3 meals a day, that's 21 meals a week, 84 meals a month, right? So that's really, I think that's the in-depth planning that might be required for people that are disorganized like me. So I think that's that. Just kind of talking to you guys, I've been inspired to actually take action on that meal thing, and really kind of rather than just going and willy-nilly buy, because I'm in charge of the purchasing in the house, most of it. You know, you can actually sit down with here's a 100-meal plan and get creative with it, and actually take control. So thank you very much for that inspiration. But I'd also like you to, both of you guys, to comment on this, if you wouldn't mind. One is, I know that in my life, if I have, and this is the individual part, Ryan, if I have personal challenges, if I have a challenge with my primary relationship, or challenge with the kids, or challenge in business, it's very hard to get that meal plan together, very hard to get the activity plan together. Things interrupt all the time. So, and there's also some kind of mental factor, mental fatigue that goes with that really stops you from moving. And I know Heath and I have both been through this in our lives, right? As you go through life, this is a marathon, right? You're going to have great times and you're going to have challenging times. So maybe you could talk to that. It's like, how do you figure out what the reality is, and what are the triggers that are really stopping you? Probably have to fix them in the end, but what can you do in the meantime, maybe, for the big ones? And second is this, the complication of when you're going shopping, when you're planning your meals. There's so much information that's needed about nutrition and carbohydrates versus sucrose versus et cetera, et cetera. It's very confusing out there, but what you're supposed to be putting in to your frame, right? Everyone's individual, I suppose. So two big things: personal challenges and dealing with all that information. Comments, gentlemen?
Go ahead.
You want me to go, Heath?
Yes, please.
Yeah, I think my answer, I'll keep it short so you can chime in too, Heath. But Bob, I would say for both of those, simple is better. So like I've said, how I address individual clients, I love that you said, I mean, often it's that option paralysis. Quite often, the last thing clients need is more information. We all know the general concept: eat mostly whole foods, move a little more, eat a little less. It's easy in theory, very difficult to actually apply. So as well as when you're looking at that fatigue that you're talking about from a busy entrepreneur's lifestyle, simple is better. It's looking at what you can peg off in the short term, and even if it's just one meal, like you said, the meal plan, it's like, where what meal do you tend to fall back on? You can actually gather data and see, well, generally in the evening is when I feel most fatigued. I tend to reach for that beer or that bag of chips or whatever else. So again, relying on the systems that you can start to implement, but starting very simply and just saying, I'm going to try and focus on this one little thing and make that marginal improvement that over time, once it sticks, we're going to add on more, layer on more, and it's the aggregation of marginal gains.
Yeah, 100% agree with you on that end, bud. You know, this has been an absolutely amazing discussion that is, in my mind, something that we're going to have to do again. With your permission, I'd like to already say we're going to have you back on and start to talk a little bit more detailed about the types of foods and the options that we can do for evening snacks, as an example, that give us that sweet craving or that salty craving, but are actually good for us and not going to put us into bed with high sugars that are going to get packed on as fat, or vice versa. What's a great pre-workout that we can do that's using whole foods? Because if you don't fuel the machine, then your workout's not going to be great. So basically you wasted your time in that. So I think, if I may, I'd like to take an opportunity from today's discussion to kind of summarize all this amazing discussion that we've had about the uncommon truth about nutrition and healthy lifestyles. So Bob and all of our viewers know that I am an acronym king. I'm going to say it. I seem to really like to simplify things down and put it into really key points because I forget them otherwise. It also could be that I was an ex-policeman and we all speak in code. So, but the fact is this: we're looking to live our ideal form of life. So what is the ideal way to eat good nutritionally and to have a healthy lifestyle? That this whole journey is about us all trying to live our ideal form of life with nutrition and having a healthy lifestyle. So ideal, what does that really mean? First, I means I am accountable. I am able to have my healthy lifestyle and reach my nutrition and fitness goals. It's ultimately up to me. I am accountable. And I can do D. And D is to dream. Dream, decide, document, and ultimately define what I want. And that's going to tell me what I'm going to do. That is going to lead to rituals that will drive the results that I want. Now that we have that goal, we need to eliminate. Eliminate everything that prevents us from reaching that goal. Chance favors the prepared mind. When we're in the grocery store, we need to not buy what we know is not good for us. Shop around the outside of the store. That's where all the whole foods are. So anything that's going to prevent us from achieving those goals and that healthy lifestyle needs to be eliminated. And that means even our expectations. We need to make them simple. We need to make them sustainable. This is the stuff that Ryan so eloquently said. It won't work if it's not focused, clear, and simple. A, out of idea, we need to automate the plan. We need to create those healthy habits and rituals. That's going to really help us by being active. Active in our choices, active in our exercise, active in what we are actually putting on our plate, which is going to give us the energy we need to do the activity we need to do, as well as align us with what our goals are. And lastly, we need just to live it. And we need to love the journey and the choices that we've made. Realize that where we've got in 20 years is going to take maybe more time than we think. If it took us 2 years to get back to what we were at 30, I'm in my 50s, to get back to my body of my 30s after 20 years, I think that's a pretty good deal. Let's put it into perspective and love that journey and the choices that I am making. I'm accountable for whatever it is that I've set as my goals. So we need to also learn from our failures. Fail forward. It's okay to have a cheat day. It's okay to celebrate at a birthday party. It's okay. Give ourselves some grace and love ourselves.